Well, in 1996, the market all of a sudden took a different direction. We started to see serious incidents. The manufacturers that were before teaching singular deployment all of a sudden recognized the importance of a core drill. And a new concept was born. That was the concept of the deployment sleeve. This was a sleeve where you could put the strips inside of there, attach a core drill to it, and you could deploy the system and pull it out of traffic. All of a sudden, they thought this was a good idea after all. This was a system concept which all tire deflation devices before 1993 had been using. This other concept was mainly a tire deflation device. It was not a system. It was nothing more than a tire deflation device. So we started to see the rise of the system concept. There's several things though that happened because the incidents never went away. We're going to take a look at those. First of all, consider this. Once you teach officers how to deploy the tactics of one deployment concept, it's hard to retrain them and teach them new habits and breaking old habits. One of the things that happened was the old concept was they were doing a high visibility deployment. In other words, they were deploying these outside of protective cover, and very often they would wait till the target vehicle was very close so that they could decide which lane they wanted to throw it into by watching him. Well, tactics like that never went away. So although they had a deployment sleeve, they were still doing high visibility deployments, and they were still provoking evasive actions. That was problem number one. Problem number two was, while this was a great concept, the quality of the products used were very poor. And a lot of times it was mainly supported with a string. If you look at the serious incidents with tire deflation devices, what you will find is that a good 50% of the incidents happen when the officers are going into traffic to retrieve the tire deflation device, not deploying the tire deflation device. So what happens is that's a type of incident that is only found with one type of device, and that is a device that uses a deployment sleeve and uses a winder. What's happening is the systems are still coming apart. Here at Spike Devil and at Spike Strip Manufacturing, we decided that when we developed the Spike Belt, we wanted to use very high quality products. We did so with our Spike Devil tire deflation system, and when we came out with the Spike Belt, we decided to do so also. One of the things that in the earlier systems that had become very popular, they were using very unsophisticated reels. This is a loop winder, and it doesn't have a crank. There's nothing on it that's very fancy. But the good news is it allows you to service it. If there's a problem with it, you can find the problem. You can take the tangle out. You can fix this. What was happening with the new concept, the new systems, and the reason the problems were still there is they were using very low quality, inexpensive winders. There are several incidents with deployment sleeve type systems where the officers went to deploy it and the system was out of service. Why? Because the bag was messed up, had been ripped up and not replaced, or the core drill was messed up, was tangled up, it was poor quality, and it was never replaced. So what happened was these components of the system were not being properly serviced, and the components were failing, and so the officers went ahead and did a singular deployment anyway. And you would have officers going into traffic to try to retrieve these strips from the path of the oncoming vehicles. So we have incorporated the loop winder. Our core drill is very heavy duty. It has a door so that you can go in there and you can service it, you can untangle it. And this is a concept that allows the system to stay in service, and you know, due to the quality of the components, that more than likely it's not going to fail on you. So let's take a look at a closer look at the Spike Belt. This is the Spike Belt. What we decided to do with the Spike Belt system is we went and looked at what were what were the risks? What were the problems with the components on this system? First, we identified that we needed a pocket to hold the winder. A lot of times the winders were dangling, and the winders would get caught up in the trunks, they'd get smashed, and they'd get broke. Another problem that was happening was the strips. The system had nothing to hold it together, and these could also get damaged, and the bag could get tore up. Another thing we found was the bag was being used multiple times, and you'd get holes and more holes until the bag just came apart. Well, one of the things that we did with the spike belt, of course, we added the pocket, we added the belt. We also made it so that as soon as you used the spike belt, it now had a second life as a training strip. So you would take it out of service and you use it only for training purposes, and you would mandate that the officer get a new deployment sleeve, new strips, loaded up, and now they would have a system that was high quality. Those are some of the steps that we have taken to provide you with a better quality product. Watch the videos. The other concepts that you're going to see is that we use protective cover, we use an element of surprise, a covert deployment, we use a lot of tactics with our system that all come together with a program that's designed to keep your officer safe and the public safe. Thank you for viewing this video. Look below for our links if you wish to contact me. My phone number is listed below.